Deepest, darkest Surrey, Farnham Cricket Club, where it all began for Graeme Thorpe, with Amanda, Kitty and Emma, his closest family. I want to talk about Graeme, really. I want to talk about how the relationship between you and he began and what drew you to him to begin with.
We love talking about Graeme, and we'll always talk about Graeme. I didn't know, never really watched cricket before, so I didn't know who he was. He was just so humble, and yeah, he was such a special person.
Don't really remember life without him in it. I was so young, but it was, I'm so glad I grew up with him, and he would just teach me to have perspective. If I didn't do something completely right, he'd almost find the positive. Like, why would you even want to do it completely right anyway? It's just do it your own way. Keep on going, try. If it doesn't work, try again. And it was a great atmosphere to be brought up in. We
were teammates for, crikey, 15 years or so. And I always very much looked up to him as a cricket player and as a man, really. He always seemed to have the right words to say or the right perspective to have on various things. I wonder what it was like having somebody like that as your dad.
Yeah, he definitely knew how to kind of bring you back into the real world of kind of, this isn't the biggest thing, yes, it's bad right now, but to give you the perspective of everything's going to be okay, and you just got to keep on trying. I think that was the main thing.
We had that incredible day at the Oval where, did you guys have the sense before that day of just how loved he was in our world? It's a small world, the cricketing world, but in that world, in England in particular, he was a hero to a hell of a lot of people.
I think we'd started to grasp it, but I think on the day, really seeing everyone wearing the headbands, and especially that moment at tea time and everyone, got up and clapped, and it was, I think that was really special.
For me, I didn't really realise until he passed, how much love there was for him. And I wish he knew that properly. I think he knew he was loved, but I don't know if he properly grasped to what extent.
Even I was surprised, and sort of overwhelmed, but he'd been ill, and so you're left, you're there, and you try to battle your way through it, and then all of a sudden, it's very sad, really, isn't it? Mm. Just the way it happens like that, and then all the love there, the mural. I think he would have thought that was so cool.
Let's move things ahead a little bit. He gets the job, leaves the game, quits playing, and becomes a coach, and that journey of him passing on his knowledge of being, it seemed to me as though he was just as enthused about doing that side of it as he was in the playing sense.
I remember I was in year 6, and maybe I was about 12 or 13, and we were in the kitchen, and he had this little post-it note, and he said, "Remember the name Joe Root." And I thought, okay, cool. He said, "Remember the name Joe Root because he's going to be a really good player." And I think, I don't know, the name Joe Root is easy to remember. I mean, obviously now.
Especially if it's on your fridge.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I remember him putting it on a post-it note. I thought,
yeah,
cool.
Right, Dad. Yeah.
What am I doing with this? I'll put it on the whiteboard. He said, "Remember this name."
Yeah.
And then as Joe Root grew up and became an amazing player, I said to my friends, "Oh wait, I think I saw that one coming." Yeah.
Down the pitch, clip to the leg side. The 39th Test match 100 for Joe Root. England's present number 4 will never forget a previous number 4 that meant so much to him. Graeme will be watching down, incredibly proud.
This starts to lead into the darker periods, right? So you had the COVID tour. Tell us about that.
Definitely did impact his mood and how he felt. I think that was kind of the start of everything.
So he was disappointed with how it went, sort of results-wise, and come to the end of that, they went out, as he would do, as was normal with the opposition, and there was, a bit of late-night drinking, which is normal the end of the tour. But for Graeme personally, I think it's been sort of documented, really. But the whole thing with all this COVID stuff, so they were out, they were sort of had to be told to go to bed or whatever, but you had the high-vis policeman come along and he just thought, here we go. So he took a video of that, kind of thinking, really, you know, this is what we're dealing with here type thing. Sent that to a couple of friends, and one passed it on to someone, and it ended up on the, you know, in the Sydney Morning Herald. He was absolutely gutted about that, and you would say kind of he's very, very private, sort of unlike him to even to record it. To me, that shows that he wasn't
Of his right mind.
Yeah, himself to even do that. But then that happening obviously was awful. He felt terrible. He'd apologised to all the players, and so definitely coming back not on a, you know, good note. Good way to end the tour, and obviously the results, you know, weren't good as well. There's obviously he lost his job. He didn't see that coming, and it was really tough for him. You know, it was pretty brutal, and he felt really let down. Actually, he wasn't great before, but he spiralled after that.
He couldn't really let it go, and he couldn't really get over the fact he lost his job. He saw that as such a massive failure as well. It was very much in his head. He very much felt that he let us down. It's not just him. I feel like this is quite a common approach to people losing their jobs, especially his demographic, being male, mid-50s, having worked in a company for such a long time as well. I think it was a very big change, and mentally I don't think he coped well with it at all, which we could very much notice. It's his energy, even just in the house, it changes the entire atmosphere really, and it was just horrible.
Really.
When did you decide to try and find outside help, and where did you go?
So he was under the care of sort of mental health sort of psychologists and sort of from the ECB, and he had a few remaining sessions, counselling sessions, when he finished with them. But he spiralled, you know, he got a lot worse. We were sort of struggling, didn't really know what to do, and then he had unfortunately he mixed some medication for anxiety with alcohol. He hurt himself, you know, and he nearly lost his life. And then after that, I mean, the PCA, the Cricketers Trust, were there for us.
So they came to us, and I think they kind of helped pull the threads together, and they introduced us to other help that is out there, because even looking for it was something beyond our capabilities at the time. And they offered Dad a 6-week inpatient or like a residential place that he went to. We felt very out of our depth. We didn't feel like we could provide what he needed, so he wanted professionals and a whole setup really that he could go to.
Timetable.
It was
really
that's what
good.
he got at Sporting Chance, the inpatient. And he did lots of kind of physical therapy as well. And I think the mixture of them both was a really good balance, and he definitely came out of it with some new insights.
Were there moments during that period of time where he was kind of, you know, you felt like you had him back, like Dad was back, or?
I think there were a couple moments, like one time when he came down to the pub, and that was really like...
You served him.
Yeah.
You didn't refuse him.
And seeing him just like chatting with his mates again like normal, and then that, you know, kind of gives you hope, and then it goes away, and it's just a really difficult thing of...
Having hopes dashed, isn't it? It's
almost makes it worse.
Harder.
But you need people like those at the Cricketers Trust to kind of direct you and show you the way.
Try and pull it all
Pull
together.
it all together, because it's a minefield and you don't know where to start. And usually when you're looking for help, you're already in a pretty terrible place. And yeah, after he passed, they reached out to us again, offered us therapy and counselling, which was really helpful.
And that's ongoing now?
Yes. I had some sessions. I asked for in-person therapist, and they found one near my uni, which was away from home, and that was lovely, and I felt very looked after and able to, and it made a good help going to talk to someone, because again with the stigma, but you do feel like a bit of a burden talking about such heavy things.
You feel with mental health, right? Everybody has their problems. Everybody has good days, bad days, and all the rest of it. And a lot of us feel as though you're burdening other people unnecessarily. You know, I can take care of this myself. And do I really need to be taking up somebody else's time with my internal problems? But by the sounds of it, the talking is helping still. Would that be right? You're still able to get things off your chest?
Yeah, and I think that is definitely where therapy has helped, to be able to talk to someone without any of that. Obviously you can still talk to your friends about it, but it is just getting into all of it and having that time. And I had some online therapy, both from before and after, both that was from the Cricketers Trust as well. And having it online has meant that when I've been at uni as well, it hasn't mattered. And having the same therapist from before and after, that consistency has been quite nice as well.
You guys have been incredibly brave throughout all of this. Talking about somebody that you loved. I loved him.
He was so special.
It's been a horrendous thing. Is there one last message that you'd like to tell people, to say to people, should they find themselves in this incredibly difficult situation?
You know, Graeme, he was ill for 2 years, and he would look back and analyse as well, and he said, he'd look back and said, I shouldn't have stopped communicating, I shouldn't have gone into myself. Even he said it. That was the type of person he was, I think.
He was still self-aware enough to know that.
Yeah, he could look back. Not that it's not easy to say it, but it's hard, because maybe that's your natural thing. But then he could look back and think that didn't help, and then it spiraled from there. But yeah, definitely, like his divorce, he retreated into himself. He didn't want to go out, speak to people. Don't do that. Yeah, is probably my thing.
Talk about it, share the load, and reach out, because there's help out there increasingly more and more. It's being talked about more and more, but there's still a lot of work to be done.
Talking about grief is really important. Losing a parent at this age is something that not many people your age have gone through, but being able to talk about it and start conversations and reach out and let people know that you're there, I think is really important.
Does it feel like it helps you?
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.